Well, Slancha, how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? Always takes me just a little bit longer to get going than I think it's going to. I was all set. Oh, we're only a couple minutes behind. Anyways, how the heck are you? Let me check something out real quick. I'm going to be Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer and Beer Whisperer with you today, but I want to check something here first. Oops, hit the wrong button. There we go. Now we're in business. All right, let's see if that fixed it there. No, not quite. Let's see if that worked. Bear with me, folks. Technical difficulties. Let me see. Wish I could do this part before we hit the live button, but it doesn't let me adjust it the same way. Maybe if someone wasn't as technologically challenged as I am. Anyways, I go back in and edit the first 2 minutes. Anyway, I digress. Let's just get going, shall we? Oh, Mercy, just got home from work, so I haven't had anything to drink yet today. This will be my first, and I decided to open something today as we're approaching the weekend before Thanksgiving. I picked this one up a while back. It is, I guess, a collaboration with Boulevard and Foundry Distilling Company. It's their American malt whiskey distilled from unfiltered wheat mash, bottled in bond at 100 proof. Obviously, bottled in bond is 100 proof. Oh, if I can read that there. The bottled in bond just tells me what the bottled in bond. I thought it might tell me more about the whiskey. Here we go. Distilled from the mash bill of Boulevard's unfiltered wheat beer. This expression was bottled in bond at 100 proof and aged for over 4 years in new charred American oak. The malt offers, Jesus Christ, I can't read that. Writing is awful fuzzy. I'm just going to show it to you and you can figure it out. Anyways, my eyes are tired, man. So I just poured myself a couple ounces neat here. Oh, God, those aromas are insane. But I'm also going to pour some on the rocks. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to grab that rocks glass and open this bottle and pour it right in front of you. I'm using a globe mold as the rock. There we go. I'm going to let that sit just a minute. I want that to get cold. I don't want it to sit too long. I don't want too much melt off, but I do want it to get cold and melt just a little bit. So let me set this down. And now I'm going to focus on this neat. There we go. Let me show you that. Man, that is pretty, isn't it? Oh, those colors are magnificent. Oh, those colors are magnificent. Those aromas are magnificent, I should say. Wow. I don't know that I ever smelled anything quite like that before, to be honest with you. Oh, wow. Wow, that is really something, man. I'm not even sure how to describe that, to be honest with you. I've never had anything like that at all. I've had quite a few now. American single malt whiskeys. Says American malt whiskey. Wow, this thing is serious, man. It's going to take me a minute to figure out those flavors and aromas. I got to be honest with you. It is very different. It's very good, though. Feel like I'm picking up some, and it doesn't make sense to be honest with you, but I feel like I'm picking up some dark cherry notes. It isn't very sweet, which is wonderful, to be honest with you. A little bit on the sweet side for me, but this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm just having trouble deciphering some of those flavors and aromas, to be honest with you. I've never been this stumped before. So I'll tell you what I can get. A lot of beautiful oak in the finish, a lot of nice spice notes as well. You might find allspice cinnamon. It's really between you and your taster, to be honest. But for me, I'm also picking up some ginger notes and a little clove. The nose is very bright, but I feel like I'm getting kind of a mix of dark fruit notes. Wow. Wow, I'm not even sure. That one's got me stumped, I gotta tell you. I'm gonna pick this up now. It's been in there a couple minutes. I don't want too much milk going on. So I'm gonna focus on the rocks here. Wow. So I'm pretty close to what I like to call the sweet spot, that right amount of cold, that right amount of water melting in there. So I'm getting a lot of sugars here that I wasn't feeling neat. A lot of whiskeys will give me brown sugar, some even a very dark brown sugar because you get some molasses notes. Here I'm feeling more of a raw sugar note. Honey, a little bit of honey. Raw sugar and honey is the sweetness I'm picking up here. Wow, this is a very interesting whiskey, man. It's a good, interesting time, or is it bad, interesting? No, it's good. I really like it. It's just I'm not usually this stumped in putting the flavors and aromas together. This one's got me scratching my head. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm right about where I want to be on this one. Still get that nice oak. I'm not picking up a lot of vanilla here. So typically with a lot of using whiskeys that use new charred oak, you pick up a lot of vanilla. Even the American single malt category, I still get a lot of vanilla. Here, I'm not getting a lot, but I am feeling a lot of that oak and the spice notes. Gosh almighty. Man, that is really interesting. It is good though. Wow. Wow, man, that is tasty. That's just good, man. I don't care who you are. Now, I don't want too much more water getting in here, so I'm going to concentrate just on this till it's gone, and then I'm going to open the beer for you. Hope everybody's doing all right as we head towards Thanksgiving. Can't believe it's almost here already. Uh, Less than a week, man. It's just going to be the wife and I. It's typically what we do anymore. We've done the big stuff. I'm kind of tired of it. I was talking with a friend about the Thanksgiving today, and telling him it's a difficult one for me because my son and I used to plan everything, and now it's kind of sometimes it's very tough. And he says, "Well, why can't you just concentrate on the good things and look at it that way?" So, well, it doesn't really work that way. Yes, you do try to you want to, but grief doesn't run on a straight line. So you don't know. I might plan and want to do things a certain way, but then that morning it just may not. So I do try to look at the positive, right? The things that we shared together. And there are times I planned to do certain things and then couldn't, and there are times I wasn't sure, and then all of a sudden that wave hits me and say, "Okay, let's do this. We're going to do this one for Seamus." So the thing is, I never know until that morning. I always plan on the turkey and a couple other things, but as far as how far I'm going to go, I honestly never know how I'm going to feel about everything until that very morning. And quite frankly, to be honest with you, that can change throughout the day as well for both my wife and I. 'Cause people like to think grief runs like this. You're down here, and gradually every year it just kind of gets better. It doesn't work that way. Grief does not run on a straight line. So you might find one year you're up here, and then well, not even here. One day you're here, the next day you're here, the next day you're here. And again, and that's kind of hard to explain to folks. They just don't get it. Unfortunately, though, the person I was talking to, he did get it once I mentioned, grief doesn't run on a straight line. He kind of, oh yeah, I see where you're coming from now. We don't have the same grief issues, but he kind of understood where I was coming from. Anyways, I am going to open a beer now. If I can remember what I did with my bottle opener. But I had it right behind me. I'm going to step off for just a second and grab it. Oh, what the hell did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Remember where I put the damn thing. Anyways, so I picked this up last year when my wife and I were in the Kansas City area. It is their limited release 2023, the Vietnamese coffee inspired Imperial Porter. It is a porter with coffee, chicory, cinnamon, and lactose sugar aged in brandy barrels. It's at 12.8%. So let's have that together. Since it'll fit, usually I just pour a little bit at a time, but I grabbed a big snifter today, so what the hell? Here we go. Boy, that does pour nicely, though. Look how beautiful that is. It's gorgeous, man. Oh, the nose is interesting. Again, you feel all of those things that they mentioned: the coffee, the chicory, the cinnamon. That's a lot going on, man. I'm going to set that down a second and let it kind of do whatever it's going to do. And I'm going to work on this neat again. I love that color, though. Isn't that gorgeous? Man, the color of that whiskey is just crazy. So I'm trying to work on deciphering some of these aromas. I'm getting, again, the sweetness that I'm getting on the nose is more of a raw sugar and honey as opposed to like a dark or brown sugar or a dark brown sugar or molasses or maple as you may get. What I'm finding interesting, though, is I'm not pulling out the amount of vanilla that I usually do. I am feeling some. Yeah, I'm feeling it more now, actually. I'm feeling some stone fruit notes in there. I'm feeling some dark cherry, feeling some plum, very dark, almost overripe plum. I'm going to set that back down, and I think that beer's kind of settled down a little bit. Let me get back to it. Now, I did let this sit out and warm a little bit because I knew I wanted this about 50, 55-ish. Some might even say 55, 60, but for me, about 50 to 55. That was coming together very nicely. So, porter with coffee, chicory, cinnamon, and lactose sugar aged in brandy barrels. So you are getting all that, but it's probably from the base porter. I'm picking up some dark chocolate notes as well as some toffee notes. Holidays are tough for a lot of folks. We hit Thanksgiving and then we immediately run into Christmas. A lot of folks tend to get depressed. So I hope you have a support system if you're having some issues. And I'll admit they are rough for me, but I try not to show it for the most part or talk about it unless I'm doing these videos. I figure well, that's what these videos are for, to talk about it. But I do try to focus on what I do have, which is my daughter and grandkids and my wife. But it is tough not to be sad that Seamus isn't here with us. Because Thanksgiving was a big one for him. I mean, sometimes we would literally spend months, putting the menu together. Right? Uh, he liked to do seasonings and rubs and sauces. So we always talked a lot about that and putting various things together. We also like to embrace Irish heritage. So we usually Seamus usually like to add at least one traditional Irish thing in there, whether it be Colcannon or he did like Colcannon or something else. But we usually like to kind of integrate something in there. But since it's just the wife and I, it doesn't make a lot of sense to make a whole lot of dishes. Last year, what we did is we did the big, well, not big thing, but we did, we did a few items for Thanksgiving, but rather than do everything that we would typically do, we kind of added something new each following day after that. So you weren't eating just leftovers. So we may do something along those lines again this year. It's a very viscous. I say that with a lot of love, but this is very viscous. At 12.8, which is big, but I've had it at a higher ABV that I didn't find that chewy, but that beer is very, very viscous. It's very creamy. So it's probably how it is designed. Boy, it's gonna take me a little bit to figure this one out. I'm gonna be honest with you. And it could be because I'm very tired tonight. I'm very tired, man. My palate could be fatigued. So I may have to try this a different day. I do like it. I like it a lot. I haven't been able to decipher everything in here. I don't usually struggle this much figuring out the flavors. But it is remarkably easy to drink at that 100 proof. And the flavors and aromas that I am picking out are absolutely perfect. I mean, I do like uh, the way that oak really comes together in the finish and those nice spice notes. Again, for me, typically you'll get a lot of cinnamon, but I'm figuring out some allspice as well. But I'm also getting some ginger and some clove in there. Oh, let's work on this beer. Yeah, getting a lot of lingering spice from that whiskey. It is very interesting, man. Oh man, very creamy, but it's also very chewy. This again is it's very viscous, man. This one's throwing me off a little bit too. Maybe I'm just off this here. Maybe I'm just too tired, man. I don't know. But again, I do get those coffee notes. They talk about the cinnamon, the chicory, gives you that slight bitterness, brandy barrel notes. I really haven't talked about that. You do feel those in there. You definitely feel that brandy. Almost gives you these light dried fruit notes, and they're almost fruitcake like dried cherry and apricot kind of thing. Damn, that is really interesting. I'm going to set that down again. Focus on my whiskey here for a second. We'll go back and forth until they're both gone. Now that I'm working them both together, of course, I'm bringing out different things in both of them. But I still feel that raw sugar and honey like note in there for the sweetness. I am feeling more vanilla now than I was initially. Almost more of a vanilla cream like note. And again, I'm still feeling some of those stone fruit notes. Very dark cherry, uh, very overripe plum. Maybe there's some apricot in there as well. Oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. All right, back to the beer. Let me show you this bottle one more time. Limited release 2023 Vietnamese coffee inspired Imperial Porter. Yeah, they got a lot going on here, man. It's porter with coffee, chicory, cinnamon, lactose sugar, aged in brandy barrels at 12.8%. Let me show that to you. It is rather good, man. Is it something I would want to drink a lot of? In all honesty, no. It is very busy, but it is interesting. It is rather complex, to say the least. But it is a rather chewy beer. That is for sure. Let me focus back on my whiskey for a second. Ugh. I will tell you, the more I drink this, the more I like it. It is rather delicious. Yeah, it's again, it is rather complex that I haven't figured everything out yet. But it goes down so easy. So there you go. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and oh, shit a biscuit. Shit a biscuit, man. I'm also Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist. Damn, this thing is really interesting, though. Prolific beer, purveyor of wisdom, man. All around good guy. Thanks for tuning in late on a Friday, man. Have a good one.